great pleasure, President Museveni, to welcome you and your delegation to South Africa. South Africa, thank you. South Africa is proud of its very deep and fraternal relations with Uganda, relations that date back to the struggle against colonialism and apartheid. At great risk and sacrifice, Uganda stood firm in its support to the liberation struggle and contributed materially and in many other ways to help us achieve our freedom and our democracy. On behalf of the people of South Africa, allow me to express our appreciation to the people of Uganda for their contribution to our freedom. Relations between our two countries are based on the principles of mutual respect, the promotion of Pan-Africanism, and a commitment to human rights and also to the emancipation of women. The state visit that is taking place after the success in Kampala in July of last year. State of our relations and evaluate progress on the implementation on the decisions taken at that meeting. I'm advised that steady progress has been made in resolving some of the challenges relating to trade and investment between our countries. Our government ministries are in regular contact with each other, which is something that's quite pleasing. As further demonstration of our strong relations, today we will be signing several memoranda of interventions. South Africa looks forward to continuing the good cooperation that we have amongst ourselves, and we believe that it is vital that like-minded countries such as South Africa and Uganda should continue working together for peace efforts on our continent. South Africa continues to advocate for global solidarity, for the primacy of multilateralism, for the reform of the United Nations system, in particular the UN Security Council, and for a rules-based international order. We wish Uganda well in implementing its Vision 2040 and the Uganda National Plan. This will lead to prosperity not only for Uganda, but for the Eastern African region and the continent as well. So, Your Excellency, we are indeed overjoyed that after almost 11 years, you have come back to South Africa, and we would like to say, see this as your home, away from home, and we wish your visit a great success, and thank you very much for honoring us in the way that you have.
Your Excellency President Ramaphosa and the leaders of South Africa who are here, on behalf of the Ugandans, I'm very happy to be here. In 1967, I recruited myself into the ANC in Swai Priso's office, and I became a member of ANC. You can see now, 55 years later, at that time really nobody could believe that we would be here in Pretoria, because the situation in the world was very complicated. So I congratulate the people of South Africa for the big struggle they waged, especially the young people. That uprising really gave us hope. Then we had long talk. There were now new possibilities. Apart from struggling together, there was now the possibility of together. From the phase of struggling to the phase of working for joint prosperity. And those opportunities are still there. So therefore, the Joint Commission should study what can Uganda do best and sell to South Africa, and what can South Africa do best and sell to Uganda. Because really a durable relationship must be based on business, not just sentiments. To look at, that's what this commission should be doing. There are some things which Uganda can do best and sell to South Africa and vice versa. For instance, I know there is the issue of coal. We have very high grade iron ore in Uganda. But iron ore, one needs coal to turn iron ore into steel. And our part of the world, as you can see, is very far from the ocean, 1,000 miles. Now, bringing steel products from China, from India, from Ukraine in the past, very expensive. The freight alone, the transport, is bigger than even the cost of the product itself. So it is very important that we develop an inland steel industry for Uganda and for those areas around. But here we need coal from South Africa. Some people are talking of hydrogen. They say we can use hydrogen, but they are still saying it is a bit expensive. That it is easier to use coal through Mombasa. So these items should be listed. South Africa, this and that and that. Don't just come to you, like we do in the African Union, Madame, Excellence, just like a theater. That's why I don't attend those African Union meetings anymore. I don't have time for. So come with concrete. What can Uganda produce that South Africa needs? What can South Africa produce? For me, I have told you about coal. And we are developing electric cars. We have already moved very far. Electric cars, our scientists have built them. But in order for the electric vehicles, buses, to be economic, it is also good that we make the batteries locally in Uganda. And of course, we are looking at lithium and other minerals. In Uganda, they may be there, but in case they are not, South Africa has got a lot of those minerals. So you can check that, so that you go industry, even if there are 5 or 6, which you identify, you say South Africa can do this, Uganda can do this, and Uganda can be assisted to do this. And now, of course, Uganda has got. With agriculture, things are much easier because here away from the equator, I hear people have got only one rainy season. That's what I hear. But there, near the equator, we have 2 rainy seasons. That's why these Ugandans are lazy, you see, because because life is very easy for them. You don't have to work very hard, you know. Even a fool can survive in Uganda. So those agro-based that South Africa may need cheap. They are plenty. They are plenty. Because I don't know where do you get your bananas from? Do you grow bananas here?
Yes, we do. In the north and in the east.
Big panties or?
Yeah, towards the north, yes, but not as big as yours.
Not
as big as yours.
So really, that's what this Ministry of Trade, the other young lady, there's my brother here. This is we are together. He's as old as me. This one is quite ancient. This one here. But the other young girl, she's the. You should help the old man to list. Don't just come, Excellence, Madame, Mademoiselle. So really this is. But then there's also now the bilateral, but there is the producing for third-party markets. The companies can come from South Africa, based in Uganda, or even vice versa, but produce for the US market, because we have got access to that market, USA market, Chinese market, using the raw materials of Uganda, which are plenty. That would be, in my view, another area we should look at in detail, not just vaguely. Then finally, as His Excellency was saying, the issue of pacifying Africa, because we are talking of the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area. But this Continental Free Trade Area would be a trade area only if it is peaceful. But now the whole place is in chaos. What we told, the good thing is that what these young people like the other one is calling history, I call current affairs. Because I was there all this time when all these things were happening. Now, when we started with our elders, Mzee Mandela was in jail, Mzee Oliver Tambo was in London, but we were active with Mwalimu Nyerere, because Mwalimu Nyerere was in charge of Tanganyika by that time. And these people thought it was a joke. There were two lines. The imperialists and those who listened to them, and we who were led by Mwalimu Nyerere and Nkrumah and other people, who wanted freedom, freedom meaning freedom. Now, the other group did not listen to us. Not only that, but they killed many of our people. They killed Lumumba. In Congo, they thought they were very smart. Killed Lumumba. Why did you kill Lumumba? Because Lumumba was independent-minded. In Burundi, they killed Rwagasore. They killed Ngenda Numwe. They killed in Rwanda, they killed the king there, Rudahigwa. Then in West Africa, they were killing all these people, Felix Mumi and all that. They overthrew Nkrumah. They thought they were very clever. They overthrew Modibo Keita in Mali. So their strategy was puppets. Put puppets everywhere. Even in Tanganyika, they tried to overthrow Mwalimu at one time. They tried, but they didn't succeed. In Obote, in Uganda, they even overthrew Obote, whom they mistook for a leftist. Obote was not a leftist. But they got rid of Obote and put Idi Amin. So now, what is happening is that whatever somebody sows, that's what he harvests. So all these traitors have now collapsed in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Central African Republic. It's chaos everywhere. So now, you people, me an old man, with my young brother who is, how old are you, Your Excellency?
I'm 70.
Oh, this is a decent distance behind me. So these young people, these ones here, when some of us are still here, we can help you to build a new force, of patriotism, because now neocolonialism has failed. Neocolonialism has failed. People in Mali, people in Burkina Faso, people in Nigeria itself. Nigeria. Everywhere they are harvesting the bad fruits of neocolonialism. So what do the progressive parties do? They must help to create a new force, to use the failure of neocolonialism to build now real African freedom. This one area where I think the ANC, as His Excellency said, this was the first organization after Africa had been taken over by the imperialists, all of Africa except Ethiopia, 1912 when it was founded. So we need to think about that. We may not have conclusions today, but for me, I'm thinking about it. How do we help? How do we help these situations? Because CFTA, how would you have it with chaos everywhere? How would you have it with Burkina Faso? How would you have it with Mali? How would you have it with the Central African Republic? How would you have it with Eastern Congo, that Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo? Those traitors who took over after, that's what I was telling His Excellency Tshisekedi. You need to decide. Are you on the side of the traitors, or are you on the side of the freedom fighters? Because that's how they end up. They just come, they end up being nothing. Because traitors cannot be, the first thing, the traitors cannot build an army. No. They can't build a national political party because they are sectarian, tribes, religion. Because of that, they can't build an army. So,
don't have
how will you have
to talk for long
without an army, without a party, without...
Uganda is a very rich country.
So I think really the NC...
But one of the problems we are having was that our people were outside the money economy.
How to move some of these situations.
They were in what they call subsistence sector.
In Eastern Congo now we have...
They just produce for eating, produce for eating.
Them. But there are what
wanashughulikia tumbo tu. So I was looking for money. Please give me money to give coffee seedlings to these fellows who are just producing for the stomach, so that they can produce for the stomach, but also produce for the pocket, so that they join the money economy. You cannot imagine that by 2013, a few years ago, 68% of the homesteads in Uganda were still in the subsistence sector, in the non-money economy. You audit your countries. What is the situation? What is the percentage of the people? So I had now to use my own money because I couldn't borrow money from anybody. The loans are for capacity building, for, I don't know, sometimes they give for ICT, but ICT is a communication system, mainly. What are you going to communicate on that communication? How are you? Good morning. And you think that is communication. Why don't you have ICT linked with agriculture, linked with industry? Oh, now the digital. Are you eating computers? Have I seen anybody eating computers? Just running up and down, maneno tu. So I was insisting that all these Ugandans must be in the money economy. 2013, not long ago, 68% of Ugandans were outside the money economy because Uganda is a very rich country. A fool can survive there. In other countries, fools die. But in Uganda, fools can thrive there. They just eat. He stays with his brothers. He eats. He goes from there to the sister. He eats. He's not earning anything, but he's eating. So we said, no, everybody must be involved in the money economy. We couldn't get any support for that. But we funded it ourselves. Each year, we spend about $300 million of our own to make these villagers join the money economy by producing for the stomach, but also for the pocket. And from 2013, I was now told that for the first time, 61% of the people are in the money economy of the homesteads. It is only 39% that are still out. You imagine those are still there, just eating, no money. So therefore, this meeting is, then you get your neo-colonial civil servants. They talk of import support. Imagine there is money for import support. Import support. The governor writes to me, reports, we have got import cover for so many months. But I don't want to import, I want to export. Why don't you tell me about import substitution and export promotion? Instead you are telling me of import support. So money is available for to become more dependent. So I'm very glad to hear what now finally, the cars, which we told our people about in the 1960s, we told them, part of the wars we fought in Uganda were to get rid of the neo-colonial groups which were there, which were stopping us from thinking. We had to get rid of them by force. But one of the problems was Africa producing raw materials, matière primaire, they call it in Français, matière primaire. Raw materials. Imagine coffee. The global value of coffee is $460 billion. All the coffee producing countries of the world, Brazil, us, all these, we only get 25 billion of that. Out of the 460 billion, the coffee producing countries get 25 billion. And Africa gets only 2.5 billion. 900 million of that comes to Uganda because Uganda produces a lot of coffee. A country like Germany, which has no coffee, earns $65 billion from coffee. So, I sell a kilo of coffee, good grade coffee, $2.5. Somebody in London will get $241 from that 1 kilo. Okay, there are other costs on the way. I don't want to, because he's the owner of a restaurant and so on. But coffee roasting, coffee grinding, coffee packing must happen here in Africa, must happen at source.
Hello, and welcome to the WVBS Online Bible School. My name is Russell Hafner, and I am the director of the school. Thank you for your interest.
The shirt I'm putting on is Ugandan cotton. I don't put on foreign clothes. It's only the trousers I'm putting on because I can't go naked. Because they have not solved that problem for me. So, if you look at cotton, how many job levels are there? Job levels. You grow the cotton. Okay, that one we do. Those jobs we do. We gene the cotton. Kutoa mbegu, remove the seeds. That one we do here. And we end there. When you hear all these countries which have got crisis, Burkina Faso, I don't know what, Mali, all of them are cotton growing countries. But how much textiles are they producing? They're importing textiles, I don't know from where. So now if you end at level 2, gening, removing the seeds. Then you take the pamba, you take the cotton to cleverer people who are clever. Watu wenye akili. Wako huko. Sisi hapo tutajiita vipi? Kama mtu anakuzidi akili wewe unasema wewe nani? So they take the cotton, they spinning. More money, more jobs for their children. They weave. More money, more jobs for their children. They put the print. More money, more jobs for their children. I looked at the figures. Uganda consumes 276 million meters of textiles each year. And that wonderful country of yours spends $880 million on clothes. Some of them dead people's clothes from Europe. When people die, their clothes, they are sent to you people, to Africa. And we spend 800, all the money we earn from coffee goes back to bring dead people's clothes. But we have got one factory there called Nitil. It produces 25 million meters. So in order to clothe our people in Uganda without importing, we need about 11 factories like the one of Nitil. And they would employ about 20,000 people. So and we would save $880 million, which we are just giving it to other people. So this Ida, what did you say about the modern slavery of the Africans of producing raw materials? In one of our documents in Addis Ababa, we had talked of Africa producing what it does not consume and consuming what it does not produce. They had put that as a summary in one of the documents of the African Union. We must get rid of the production of raw. I banned the export of minerals from Uganda and process. I banned them. Piga marufuku. Then the agents were going in the corridors, what Mufanyi, no mineral will come from Uganda if it's not processed. You wait until I go away, you can steal the minerals, but not now. I banned this export of unprocessed minerals in 2012. My young brother, His Excellency Ruto, I forgave him and gave him some little iron ore for, I think, 2 or 3 years, because I've got a lot of iron ore, one of the best in the world. I told him, His Excellency Ruto's man, Muindi wa hapa Kenya, you come and build the steel factory in Uganda at the iron ore. Oh, yeah. I've already built in Mombasa. So I said, okay, because of my young friend, I give you some iron ore for 2 or 3 years. But come and put the factory here. Now you can imagine akili ya watu wenu, my civil servants. An Indian wanted to take that iron ore to India, imagine. Iron ore in our language is called obtare, but it is soil, black soil. If you see it, it is soil. To take that to India and do what? Pay your wonderful people $47 per ton. Our iron ore is the purest in the world. It is 70% pure. 1.5 tons to make a ton of steel. Now, a ton of steel costs $700. Somebody gives you $47 on your wealth, the wealth of your people, and he gets $700 from it. And all the jobs, your children have no jobs. Watoto wa Wahindi wanafanya wamepata kazi. I can't be part of that treachery. So I banned, there will be no export of unprocessed minerals from Uganda. So there's no business. What do you mean there's no business? So when I banned them, they are flocking in now. They have opened 7 gold refineries. 7 gold refineries, they are there. Because I banned. The other day I was opening a tin refinery. You can imagine this tin, and the Sulu Samia may know where we were, the power station, both sides, the Uganda side and the Tanzanian side. That is all tin. But all this time, imagine, since the British were here, they were taking, walikuwa wanachukua mawe tu, stones, because tin in nature is a stone, looks like a stone. So they take that. And they give my people $11 per kilo. And they take it to cleverer people. For the cleverer people, they get $32. My people got 11, those people get $32. And all the jobs. So when I was opening the factory, I was asking the refinery, I was asking them, this boy who opened the factory is a Canadian. I was asking them, huyu Mkanada ameleta umeme wake? Has this Canadian brought his own electricity? No. Anatumia umeme wa kwetu. Aha. Ameleta maji yake ya factory? No, anatumia maji yetu. Internet anatumia ya nani? Ya kwetu. So, out of the $32, much of that money will remain in Uganda. Pay for the raw material, pay for the electricity, pay for the water, all that remains in Uganda. So, what does, first of all, my African brothers and sisters say about this hemorrhage of Africa? Hemorrhage. Echikurukuto, we call it in Uganda. This hemorrhage must stop. The crisis you see in these countries is because of stagnation of the last 60 years since independence. The population is increasing, the economies are not increasing. What do you expect? So with these few words, Your Excellencies, what do I say? Merci beaucoup.
When you come back late from work,
Glovo
and dance away.
Order Glovo and receive it 10 minutes.